In the last class, we discussed about introduction to automation, right? We look at the meaning of automation. We look at the meaning of AI automation. We identify, not like problems, we identify tasks that we do consistently, manually. In fact, the way I structured the question, I said, what is it that you have been doing from January to February to March to April? You do that task consistently. And I'm here to tell you that automation can also take care of those tasks. And then we identify some tasks, and then we also look at how automation can help us around it. The last class was more of introduction, more of eye-opening. But today we want to dive deep into practicals, and we are looking at n8n. Some of you might be hearing n8n for the first time. Some of you might be hearing, you might not have worked with these two, right? You might have worked with these two. So n8n is an AI automation tool. You know, from the last class, I mentioned we have lots of automation tools. In fact, the way I explained it in the last class, for those who are here, please, if you're not in the last class was an eye-opening. I mentioned a whole lot. I said we have a lot of automation tools. We have CRM automation, we have system automation, we have AI automation, we have a lot of automation, right? Good. So for this class, we're looking at AI automation. I also dive deep to mention some of the tools we use for CRM automation, for AI automation. So depending on the automation you want to do. Let me just explain again for those who are just joining for the first time. For CRM automation, that's where we have the Airtable. That's where we have Trello, ClickUp, Monday.com, Go High Level, and many more like that. For the AI automation, you have the n8n, you have Make.com, you have Zapier, you have AppScript, right? These are also AI automation tools. Of course, there's more. There are more. There are some that might require you to do more of coding. I don't know. Maybe some of you have heard about Crew AI, Idea, and many other, right? Good. So, but one beautiful part of this tool we want to look into is a low-code tool. When I say low-code, that means the coding part is not much. It's more of click, drag to achieve your task. This to tell you that if you're a technical person, you are not a technical person, automation is a good tool for you, right? You don't need to master coding, no. But don't forget, it's a low code. When I say low, that means the rate is extremely low. Let me just say 2% or 5%, depending on the tax, depending on the project you're working on. Now, how do you get to this same website? Very simple. Just type n8n.io. Let me send the link to everybody. So please, anyone can help me share it on the WhatsApp group. I want to share it on this thing called message. So please, anybody can share it. n8n.io. So please, to this section, I might be a bit fast so that I can cover a whole lot of ground. So please, all questions should be at the tail end of the class. All questions should be at the tail end of the class. All right. So when you get to this website, you get to see this interface. Don't forget this. In fact, see, let me come this way. Any automation you can think about, n8n can help you handle it. Idea. Any automation you can think about, n8n can help you handle it. So when you come across this platform, you might need to sign up, and you have 2 weeks free trial. Yeah, 2 weeks free trial. And then if you want to go for the premium, you need to pay $8 per month. Of course, we've had a lot of stories that you can post it on your website, post it on your laptop, post it on this. So whichever one you might want to do is fine by you. But if you want to use n8n cloud, right? n8n cloud, we need to make an $8 per month subscription, right? An $8 per month subscription. But of course, Nigeria will love free things, but you can find your way around getting it for free for yourself. And of course, it is possible, right? I'm saying it with confidence, it's possible. But for this class, we are using the cloud, right? So how do you get to use it? Of course, just see sign in. So for me, I already created an account. So I'll just click on sign in and I will log in immediately. Then we can start this section. But before we even start opening this, we need to identify what we want to do. What do you want to do? We don't just open it, no. Let us open it. What tasks do you want to automate? Of course, there are a lot of tasks you can automate. But for this class tonight, we want to generate a problem. And then we'll now look at how can we use automation to solve this problem. And of course, I can see it's like the simplest challenge. I'm going to use the word simplest because it's very, very simple and we always encounter it. In our businesses, in our work, in our offices, and a whole lot. Now, this is a problem. Um, let's say when you have new users fill a form, we want them to get a notification, a welcoming message on their email, right? So we don't want them to just fill a form and that's all. No. When they fill a form, they get a welcoming messages, right? Oh, you're welcome to Easy Tech. We are glad to have you. This and this. In fact, we can also expand it. We can say they should book a section, maybe using this link, or you can join a WhatsApp group, or you can do this, or you can do that. Of course, we can extend it. That's what I'm going to, right? But for this class, let's make it as simple as basic so that the next 40 minutes we are done, right? So when a user fill a form, we want them to get an email welcoming message. And please, my class is always interactive, so I'll be asking questions from you. And I will also love you to unmute your mic and speak. If you cannot speak, just drop a notification that in the noisy environment, you're on transit, I get to understand you, right? I don't like my class to just be teacher-centered. No, I want it to be both ends. Let's learn together, right? Share your idea with me. I'll share yours with. And also, if you have questions, feel free to ask your questions along the line. All right, we have identified the problem now. Now, you need to understand what do you need. Number one, you need a form. Now, for so many of us here, you might be familiar with Google Form. But for tonight's class, we'll not be using Google Form. Of course, you can use Google Form to also achieve these tasks, right? But all these things will be discussed more on the premium class. I think for those who are going for the 2-month intensive training. So for this class, we're going to just use a form that's already inbuilt by n8n. n8n has that node that help you to create a form. So we use that. And also in this class, we're going a bit advanced. Not like advanced like that, but a bit advanced. I'll be mentioning some things. Some of you might not be familiar with it. So we are going to be using an API, right? We're going to be using an API, Google API key. Now, what does Google API key help us to do? API means application programming interface. So now we want to tap into Google's LLM. We want to tap into Google's LLM. LLM means large language model. So we want Google, right, to help us compose, draft the message. Of course, you can define it yourself, right? But we want Google to help us do what? To help us tweak it, to help us refine it, to help us modify it in a more suitable way so that when they are receiving it, they feel love, they enjoy it, right? They enjoy the message and then they feel welcome. So we don't want to do it ourselves. We want Google to do it for us. Of course, the ChatGPT can help you draft welcoming content. Yes or yes. When you give it the right prompt. The same thing we're going to do today. We're going to give Google the right prompt and Google will help us compose message. Then we send it automatically to the what? To the new user. So when a user fills the form, we want them to receive a welcome message, right? Good. That's just the little or the basic we want to start with today. Some of us are familiar with this, some of us is very, very new. But please, my goal is to take it step by step with you. Now let me sign in. I'm going to sign in. I already have an account, right? If you don't have an account, you click on start a free trial. And you click on it, then you just input your details. Then you're good to go. Don't forget you have 2 weeks to enjoy it for free. All right. So we have this. So can you see this is my own workspace? So all I will do is I will click on create workflow, right? I will click on create new workflow. So when I click on create new workflow, it brings me to the interface. One thing I've discovered about this platform is every day you get to see changes, you get to see modifications, you get to see a lot of updates on the application of the platform. Now we have these are like where you can drag and drop your nodes, right? Nodes are like different action. The first action we want to take is what we want to create form. So the form will be like a trigger. For those who are in the last class, do you remember trigger? An action, trigger, starts. So that means when they fill the form, that's when the action starts, right? I explained this in the last class. Good. So That's like the first thing we're going to do, and then we can move on from there. We can tell LLM, do this for us, do this for us. Good. Okay, so I want to be very, very fast and smart as possible. So permit me, I will not be explaining everything we have here, everything we have here, everything we have here. Can you get? Please pardon me. Good. Now, one beautiful thing is you can also build with AI. In fact, I love this. When I explore this, I'm like, hey, I was so excited because what I just described now, the problem I want to solve now, I can come here and type everything, and then AI will give me everything. Yeah, will give me all the notes, the workflow, everything. So I don't need to do it manually. But for this class, I'm going to do it manually so that we understand the architecture. Idea. Then when we have complex tasks, we can now use AI to build. All right. So I'm going to click on what? Add a first step. And what's our first step? We're going to see trigger here. I mentioned trigger to start a workflow. Now, for this case, we have a lot of trigger. I don't know. I don't know who were in class in the last class, but we're more. I don't know. Yeah. So we mentioned the three types of trigger. We mentioned the schedule. We mentioned the manual. We mentioned the application. You remember? Those are in the last class. So you can trigger it manually. You go there to click on it before the actions take place. But for this case, we want it to be what? On form submission. Of course, we can actually look at all this, right? For those who are coming for the master class, I'm going to be explaining all of this. But for this class, permit me, I want to be very, very smart as possible. So we want to use on form submission. That is, when they submit a form, they get notified. Now I'm going to be calling names. So if I click on form submission, it gives me this interface where I can write the feeds. The feeds. Feeds are like where people need to fill the title of the form, the description of the form, the first thing you wanted to fill, maybe their name, their email, their phone number, and all the information you need from participants. But for this class, as simple as possible. Okay, so what is the title of the form? Let's say onboarding form. Onboarding, right? Onboarding form. My keyboard is not moving right fast. Onboarding form. Can you hear me? Any response, please? Can you hear me? Can I be heard?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good. I love that. Good. So can you see the form title? The title of the form. We said what? Onboarding. So now you can now use any title you want. Maybe sales, and maybe for an event, whichever one. So what description? Let's just put something basic. We want to be very smart tonight. So kindly fill up the onboarding onboarding form. Right? Something very just very basic. Good. So this is where I'm going to start filling up the elements or the feeds. So I'll click on what? Add form element. When I click on it, now what's the first I want to pick from them? I can say full name. Right? Good. Now we call something data type, the data format, the data structure. For those of you who are familiar with either CRM tool or we are familiar with Excel, we agree we have data formats. We have different data formats. We have the text, just like category of a particular just category of data type, data structure, data format. So we have text. So let's say if I ask where are you from, you say you're from Lagos, you're from Abuja, you're from Port Harcourt, whichever region, right? An example of text. If I ask you how old are you, you tell me I'm 5 years old. 5 is what? Another data type, which is numbers. I say 5, 50. How many children do you have? How many laptops do you have? What's your salary? All these are grouped under what? Text. If I ask you what's your height, I'm 2 point this stuff, I'm 3 point this stuff, I'm 4.4 this. Then another data type, which is known as what? Decimal. Right there. So we have different data types. Good. So please, for this case, I'm going to use text. So when you click on it, you get to see other data types, right? But for this case, I'm going to use text. Good. You can also add a placeholder. Now, I don't know, maybe you have seen some forms whereby on the way, for example, they will ask you, maybe for example, they say account number. Underneath that account number, you see, you just like a small text, input the correct account number, something like that. So let me just do it here so that you see it. Impute your correct name. Don't worry, you will see this place order when we are doing, when we run it, we see the way the place order will appear. Input your correct name. So now we've done for name. We can move to the next. If you want to make it required, you have seen some forms whereby, let's say for example now, because so many of us we always rush to submit. When you click on submit, it takes you back to where you did not submit. Have you experienced that before? Yes. So that this is where they activate it. They are making it required. That is, if you don't submit that particular field, if you don't put value, you will not be able to submit. So this is where they do it. Right? Good. So we have the full name. Let us add maybe just two more, or let's just add one more. Let me add email. I want to make it very, very, very short as possible. So we add email. Then we can also choose the data type. So come here. So for this case, I'm going to use an email. There's also a data type called email, or an element called email. So what is this email checking? It must have at, maybe at yahoo.com and this.com. It must have that at, that ending part at the hosting.com. Right? So for this class, please pardon me. Let me just use these two. So, but for your case, you might have 3, you might have 4 questions, you might have 5 questions, you might collect their phone number, their gender, their this and this. No, now keep getting it. But for this class, please let's make it as simple as possible so that 1 hour we're done. Now we have 2 URLs. We have the test URL, we have the production URL. From the word now, test. That means you are testing. You can share this link with you, and then everybody can test, right? So let's say when you are testing, you are trying to test it. Will it work? Will it work? How does it look like? You can use this thing. But when you're not deploying it to the website, to your website, to a website, to application, to any other thing, right? You can use the production URL. And also from here too, you can see something. You can see like a test, right? You can see like a test. This one has form test. We check the production URL does not have that form test. Yeah, for those who will be coming for masterclass, I'm going to break all this into chunks. You get to understand it like deeper, 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 deeper. Now let's test it. That's one beautiful thing about n8n, and I love it. You can test each node. Let's test this. If I click on execute, I can test what I just completed. Can you see? It's good enough for me. And it's, I can share with you this link. Then you can see this same interface that I'm seeing now. Sorry, it's taking some time, maybe because I'm sharing my screen. Good. And do you see? Onboarding form, easy tech. Kindly fill up the onboarding form, right? Full name. Now, can you see the place where I told you about? Input your correct. It's not like the correct name, but it's telling you input the correct name. So let me just come here and say, my name is Israel, right? My email is this. So let me just use my email. Then I can do what? I can submit. So this form, you can actually send it out to people to help you fill, right? To collect response. Can you see? The response has been recorded. Good, right? Perfect. Good, good, good. Now, because we executed this, one thing about this is, can you see on my left, you have the execute part. You have the information you inputted, and then you have the output. The form I fill, this is it. This is just one response. If I send this form to, let's say, to this group, or to the group, to all of you, you get to see so many responses. But for now, we only have what? Just one response. For the full name, can you see Israel? For the email, this email. The time I submitted, this is it. The form mode, see that test or what? Production. I told you about that. And also you can see it in 3 different outputs. You can see it as schema, and this is a schema view. You can see it as a table view. This is the way it looks like. You can also see it as JSON view. Some of you here are web developer, so this particular structure might not be new to you. Of course, yes. Of course, yes. For instance, so this is how it looks like. This is how it looks like. So whichever view you want, you can actually switch right to the view school. Now I want to do something here. I want to pin this. Just follow me, right? I'll do what I don't want to fill the form twice. So I'm pinning this response, right? I'm pinning this response because if I close this, I not pin it, the response might not be saved, right? So that's why I'm just want to pin it, and I don't want to fill the form. Yeah. So then I can come back to my words, to my Canva. This is my Canva. Come back to my Canva. Good. So now I'm done with this. Now, what is the next action you want to take? So I fill the form. The next thing we want to do is to introduce an AI agent. Do you remember in the last class I told you 2 things? I said we have to type of AI. Mention the generative AI and the what? Who can remind me? Did I mention it? Who can remind me? You're in this class, you can remind me. We have generative AI and what? Hey, I know go grill. Who was in the last class? Does it mean all those who are in the last class were not?
Sorry,
Yes,
sir,
go ahead.
but I don't think you made
Yes, go
mention
ahead.
of it in the last class.
I made mention of.
You didn't make mention of it.
I mentioned it. I mentioned it. I mentioned it. Who wants to help us? Two types of AI: the generative AI and the what? Hey, okay. This serious. So, hey, okay. So generative AI and also the agentic AI, right? The agentic. What is generative AI? An example is your ChatGPT. It's used to generate response. Let's say, for example, now you go to ChatGPT and say, give me a social media content on this, on this, on this, on this, on this. What happened? It generates for you. Help me to do a video, it generates for you. Help me to do this text or image, it generates it for you. That's an example of a generative AI. Generate, and that's for. We also have the agentic. This can multitask. This can do two, three, four roles together. Right? Good. Okay, so for this case, we're going to just click on this plus, right? And then what we want to do is just type AI what? AI agents. Yeah, this is AI agent. So this agent actually have three components basically. Let me come here. Let me show you the way it works. So I can disconnect it, or like cancel it. So the flow from here and connect it. So that means when you're done filling the form, this action takes place. This action starts, right? But for now, let me do what? Discontinue. I want to explain this node. So this is the agent. We can give this agent tasks to do, right? Good. So this is the chat memory. This is where you connect your LLM, large language model. This is the memory. Of course, you can connect different memories. Maybe you want to connect to a database, you want to use a simple memory, you want to connect to maybe a lot of memories you can connect to. And also tool is like can connect it, let's say, to your Slack, can connect it to your Google Calendar, can connect it to your idea, different application, right? So basically, an agent contains three basic things: the memory, the model, and also the tool, right? Good. I don't know. I'm a bit fast, but kindly pardon me. Kindly pardon me. I want today's class to be very brief, and I also have another meeting, so sorry about that. All right, the chat model. Of course, we can use different models. We can use different models. You can use OpenAI. I read about OpenAI. OpenAI is also your ChatGPT, right? You can use chat. It's not ChatGPT. You can use OpenAI, right? You can use Gemini. You can use Cloud. You can use Complexity, whichever LLM you want to use. But this is the restriction now. It's not like restriction. It depends on your budget. OpenAI is not free. That means ChatGPT is not free. So you might need to buy some AI credits. Of course, you can buy for $5, $10, whichever one you buy, right? What is AI credit? AI credit is it helps you to be able to prompt, ask questions, right? And then it gives you the response. That's the way you have been working around your ChatGPT. You know, if you are very conversant with ChatGPT, let's say when you ask questions to a particular extent, to tell you, oh yeah, upgrade, okay, pay, do this and this, good. Of course, it's still free, at least to an extent. The model is free to an extent. So, but for the API key, what is API? Hey, API and that big story on its own. So, but just for a layman, API key just give you access to be able to also use ChatGPT. Are you there? Good. So, gives you that access to also use ChatGPT. Permit me, I just want to be very lame as possible. But for those who are coming for my master class, don't worry, I'm going to break all these for you to pieces. There's no time restriction when you come to normal class. Okay, so for this case, I'm going to be using Google. Right? I'm going to be using Google. Why am I using Google? Google is free and to an extent. So Google can give you 10 times to prompt it 10 times before it asks you to pay. So if you are getting errors, that means you have elapsed it for the day, right? So we are going to use Google. So how do I use Google? So but the first thing, let me come to this agent. So you just come here, you get to see it, right? Good. So for here now, under the source of prompts, the user message. So now this way, how I'm going to do it. Now, if I click here, you will see that there's nothing in the input. Yes or yes? Yes. There's also nothing in the output. But now, If I connect it, if I click on this plus and I connect it, then I double tap here again. What happened? What do we have here? The input. Where is the input coming from? From the form submission that we did. You remember now? You remember? Is it fantastic now? Can you see? Fantastic, right? So now can you see this is the name, the email, the this and this and this information that we filled. Of course, if it's more than this, you get to see it more than this. But because this is what we have, that's why we're seeing it here. So these are like more context about what we filled. Okay. So let's come here, come to this source of prompts by user. So I will click here. Then for this case, I'm going to use define below. That is, we want to define what this AI agent should do for us. We need to tell it what to do. Compose a mail, do this for me, do that for me. Are you there? Good. So I will click on this. I will say define below. This I want to define what I want this AI agent to do for me. So I'll click on define below. So we have the prompt user, right? We also have okay. So let's fill this now. So can you say hello? How can you help me? So this way I go to now tell the AI what to do. So you can say, let me just be very fast. Let me say compose, right? Just tell you what to do. Compose a professional, a professional email, or let me say welcoming email, right? I don't know. Not come to my bed. Let me say how do I draft this now? Yeah, to provide. Let me say write a professional email. Write a professional, compose a professional welcoming email to the new user. New user. But of course, this way you can twerk and retwerk, right? So you can still add more. You can add some style to it, or you can even say we are a professional AI writing assistant. Do this, 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 do this for me, right? You can go for that. And also, I'm also going to tell the system here too. I'm also going to say, so what do you want it to do specifically? You can say you are an intelligent AI. That's why I just said it's AI writing assistant. Then you can further like tell it what to do. Make the business, make the email concise, make the email short, maintain professional tone, be concise. I there just the way we always know good. So you can further define it. I don't know. Let me just be very fast about it. So let me say always maintain, maintain uh formal tone, correct grammar. Let me also add something. Make it short. Yeah, make it short. And we'll say 100 to 120 words. Just very short. Right there. Good. So please, here you can define it and define it and define it and define it. You can still add more and more and more and more, right, to it. You can still add more and more and more and more to it. Okay, so when you are done now, don't close this part, right? Don't close this part. So now we're giving it an instruction. Just like the way you chat your GPT. And go to your GPT and say, compose an email for me. Make it short, make it concise, make it formal, make it professional, make it friendly. Idea, all those who are very, very who use ChatGPT consistently. So now what's the model? Of course, I mentioned we're going to use Gemini because Gemini is free. If I use OpenAI will flag us. OpenAI might require you to get some AI credits. So I'm going to use what? Gemini. Can you see? I just came here to type. Of course, you can also search for it, but it might take some time. So I just come here. Of course, there's a lot. Can you see? Anthropic is not an AI model. Azure, this, AWS, this and this. We have a whole lot. Open router, right? And a whole lot. But for this case, I'm going to use my words, my Gemini. Click here. Gemini appears here. Now, what do? The first thing is to connect your credentials. I mentioned API key, right? I mentioned API key. So now, how do you get API key? So when you just click here, so your own, when you click here, you see create a new credential. Should we do it together? Let's do it together. So I'll click on new credential. So this is my API key. So what do? You go to Gemini, just type Gemini API key. It should be api.dev. I can't remember the website precisely, but just go, or you can just come here, you can see the documentation. I see open doc. What is documentation? Just a guide on how to get this API key, right? Guide. So if I click on open docs, so let's just see together. Let's see it together. Please, if you're enjoying this session, please give me a thumbs up. Am I too fast? Thank you so much, Mr. Mohammed. Only one student. Thank you so much, Miss Jeffrey. Thank you so much, Mr. Salami. Miss Tumishi, what's your question? Let me answer your question. Miss Tumishi, your hand is raised. Okay, maybe that's a mistake. All right, good. So this is the credential, the documentation. So you can come and do what and read. So the most easiest way to connect to Gemini, right, is to just come to this and then you just read how to connect it, what services it offers, idea, and like that. So I click on it and read more, right? But I want to use shortcut. I'll just go to just type Google API key, right? Google API key. Then go straight to the website and then get it for yourself. And it's free, easy to get. So this should be not support, it should be support. Yeah, this should be the website. I'm seeing cloud here. Okay, let me go through this route. Yeah, to still work. Yeah, not difficult to. I'm serious. And it's in high demand. Automation is in high demand. Okay, where am I? Where am I? I'm still now. I'm in Google documentation. I've left. So this API key. Uh, there is documentation on how to install it on different platforms. You work with Python, you work with n8n tools, or this much more advanced documentation that you can also read. This is what I'm going to. The website is api.google Gemini API key. The website is AI dot something something. I remember AI dot. Hold on, please. Let me get the right. This up. Yeah, should be yes. This AI dot. So this is right word. AI dot Google dot dev. Yes, let me close up all this. So this is how to get your key. The key is very important, right? And please don't share your key. The key is must be private to you. This must be private to you. This aspect is taking some time. Hey, this aspect is taking some time. The key is just like a code. It's not like something to everything available for you. Available. I press for time. So the key is just a code. So you input that code and use it to do what? To query LLM. Time for you. Is anybody also trying it? Are you also seeing this service unavailable? I can't imagine seeing service unavailable. Good. Okay, let me just proceed. So I get the key, I just call me and store the key. I have my key. The key just code, just slot it. That is all. So yeah, I already created my key. And then we also have different models. What are models? Good. Model are this. Let me just say it this way. Now, the way we have LLM have their specific strengths. If you want to create beautiful videos, there's a model, there's an AI, sorry, there's a model you can use that can create video easily. If you want, now, look, let me say it this way for a layman, I'm sorry, for just a natural man to understand. You agree with me? Sometimes, I don't know, if you're using AI very well, sometimes you might ask the same question, let's say on ChatGPT and also on Gemini or Perplexity, right? You will agree that some of these AI tools has their strengths. You might ask the same question, but they might answer in different approach. They answer the same, they also answering the same answer, they're giving you the same answer, but with different approach, right? So I can remember when this tool came on board, was not DeepSeek. Everywhere DeepSeek, DeepSeek, DeepSeek. one of the strengths of DeepSeek, it can calculate, can do more calculation, more of complex calculation, right? ChatGPT might be struggling with those calculations, but DeepSeek can help you handle it. If you want to do more programming, go to Perplexity, go to cloud, and you also have more of that AI tools you can use. So models determine this. So of course we have different models. So it depends on what you want to do. But for this class, you just want to just send an email. So it's not something too difficult. That's why we're using this model. And this is the least model for now. Before now we have 1.5 Flash, but now they scrape the model. So can you see these are different models? If you want to generate image, you want to do video, there are different models. So you need to read about each model so you can know when to use the model. So let's say I want to generate this, generate that, generate complex this. So you can switch to the, can you see nano banana? How many of you have heard about nano banana? How many of you have heard about nano banana? Nobody. Hey. Okay, so we have different models. All right, so for this class, just leave it as Gemini 2.5 Flash. Good. Okay, so now we have connected our LLM, right? Our chat model. So that means when it fills a form, it will come here to do what? To draft the email. Of course, what we want to draft is not really structured, right? It's not really structured. So we're not even giving more direction of what to do. But of course, it should just do something for us because we are just doing more of testing. Now, when it drafts it, what next do you want it to do? Now, let's take it step by step. Before we even connect our Gmail back to it, let's test this. Let's see how it's going to run. And don't forget, we've already filled the form. We already have response, right? This is my response, right? Good. And then the next thing is what? We want AI to help us process it. Now, I can come here to and also run this part. And that's the beautiful part of AI. You can run each node. You can run each step. You don't need to do everything before you now start. No, you can run each step or each phase. Now, can you see the input is still this message? Now, I want you to send an email. I can tell it, okay, send an email, send an email to who? I can say to this email, this, and just drag it in here. I see, just drag it in to this field. Good. I said send an email to this what to this value. So this is found. Send an email. Can I actually expand it? Yeah, I can expand it. I can expand it so everybody can see it clearly. Everybody can see it clearly. Again, here you can specify. Of course, we have fixed, we have expression. Of course, now main class, I'm going to explain the difference between the two and how to switch between the two. Of course, they work differently. All right, so we have specified that. If I want more information, I can also go here and do it. Yeah, right. Now I can click on execute. Let's see what AI will generate for us. Idea. Let's see what AI will generate for us. At least let's see the output from here. So if I click on execute step, I want to only see this step. Let's see what AI will generate. Of course, if it does not generate something nice, we can tweak it, make it professional, make it this. Now, can you see? It's saying this is what it's going to generate. Dear Afolabi Israel, on this and the entire team, can you see what is that generated for us? The LLM now. Who wants to read for us? You know, okay, let me just read. Can you see? On behalf of the entire team, we extend a warm welcome to you, a new member of our company. We are delighted to join you this and this and this and this and this. Our mission is to do this and this and this. Are you there? Welcoming me. Now, this draft that I have here is done by who? A Gemini, not me. I just give him a direction. I give it a direction. Don't forget, we can still come here and retweak it. For God of time, please, just let us leave it like this. So now I can come here and do what? And also pin it. Now, please don't need to pin it, but I don't want to be doing it over and over. That's why I'm pinning it. I'll do what? I will close this part. So now we are done here, running. We've done this part, running. The last part is to do what? Connect our Gmail. So that means when they when they are done filling the form, AI process it, generate a template, a welcoming message, right, automatically, and also send it to the email. So I will click this plus sign, then I'm going to say, can you see what happens next? Gmail. For me to make it very short, I just say send an email. Or let me say Gmail, that Gmail, get to see send an email, send an message, send a message. I will click on send a message. So this I'm going to also customize how the message will look like. But the first thing is you need to specify, you need to customize where the email will be sending from. Where do you want the email to be sent from? Oh, send it from my company's account, company's Gmail account, my website. So this is where I'm going to customize it. So click here, you see new credential. Let me just show you because this one is very, very straightforward. I will click on new credential. What I've done is what? You connect it to your the main email. I will click on sign in to Google, right? Then just gives you a prompt, asks you which Gmail you want to connect it. So whichever email you connect it to, that will be like the sender's email. So you can use any of the emails that you have. But for me, let me just use the same email, the same, right? You can use others, but let me just use the same. Let me use the same. Then you need to do what? Activate it. So turn it on, then you click on continue. So when you click on continue on your mobile phone or your laptop, you might see like a prompt telling you that are you the one that is authorizing this connection? See, connection successful. But then just come here, cancel. Now you have connected it. Now the next thing is the message, right? Of course, you want to send a message. Good. You want to send a message. The operation you should do what is to send, right? Just leave that. To who? Who are you sending the message to? Of course, it's not here. You will come to this on form submission. You will slice it. Then you send it to what? To the email. Now, it's not picking this email. This email can change, but it's picking this element. You remember? So you drag the elements to the what? This part. Just like that. That's all. Then what should be the subject? You can say welcome, welcome, or welcoming, welcome. Let's just use welcome, right? That'll be the subject of the email. So you can come here and tweak it and tweak it and retweak it. And make it text. You can make it HTML, right? Whichever one. So then you come here. What should be the message? What should be the message? Don't forget, AI has done the heavy lifting for us. And this is it. Can you see? This is it. Welcome this and this. On behalf of the team, this and this and this is already here. Just drag the output from Gemini and drag it into this message path. Right there. And then you're done. Is it difficult? Tell me if it's difficult. It's not difficult, don't worry. The video recording will be available. And in fact, I want to encourage you. Please try this before Friday. Please share me your screenshots that you tried it and it works, right? That's the best way to learn, not just by seeing what I'm doing. Try it also. Yeah, in fact, your own might not be smooth like this. In fact, my own also was not smooth like this. In fact, it's not even too smooth. But I'm also rushing. I have another meeting. So sorry about that, but right, good. So I can comment to do what? To execute. I click on execute. I received my message. Can you see? Sent. Load successfully executed. Yeah. My phone has vibrated. But let me show you from my inbox. Hey, you want to see my inbox? So hold on, please. You have to look at my inbox. Good. Can you see? This is it. Me. Do you know why I say me? Because it's from my email to my email. Can you see the subject? Welcome. Can you see? Just the way we have it now, ChatGPT. Welcome this and this. Dear Falabi Israel. On behalf of the team, we send a one this to this and this and this. And can you see? A warming welcome message. Don't forget, this is just like a template. We did not really tweak it, like we did not really customize it, right? To something very, very substantial. But at least you have seen the way it works, right? And then you go to troubleshoot, you know where to do what to act on. Idea. And that's just the idea for today's class, right? That's the idea for today's class. So now we've done this also, and also what works. And can you see the difficult automation? They fill the form, they get the response. They fill the form, get the response. Now, I want just two people to fill this form now. Just to, I don't want everybody to fill it though, because the more you fill it, you're short my AI credits. Don't short my AI credits. Not for you, for my masterclass students. So I can actually share this link with you. Who do I give? If I share it, everybody wants to fill the form. I'm scared, yeah. But when you fill the form, right, automatically you get the welcome message that is customized, right? Yeah. This is like the least of what you can do. Like the least and the least of what you can do. And also, what we have built using n8n, one fantastic thing that you can also do is can do the same this same solution and do it for free on Google Ads Scripts. I don't know if I've heard about Google Ads Scripts. This same solution, you can do it on Google Ads Scripts for free. In fact, you can even do newsletter for free. You know, here now, I told you earlier that you might need to spend some tokens, some naira, some dollars, right? It's very important for you to also learn it. That's the truth because it's in high demand. It makes work faster, easier, much more productive, cutting down manual tasks. It can even cut down staff. If you want it, if I want it to be populated directly to my Facebook page, I want to be creating content to link it to Facebook, link it to LinkedIn, link it to any other platform. I can do it using Edit. It's a very, very beautiful tool. I can even schedule it. You know, this one is scheduled for using on form submission. I can schedule it, do it for me at this time, every 6 a.m. Send it to my Facebook, send the content, the write up, also include a flyer. AI can help you. In fact, think about any problem, yeah, and bring it. We can discuss it, we can make it, we can bring it to life. Automation can take care of it. That's the honest truth. It's like the simplest of what we can do. But I'm also saying that this same solution, you can also do it using AppScript, and AppScript is 100% free, right? And also for those who will be joining the masterclass, I'm also going to be teaching you AppScript. With AppScript, not everybody knows about AppScript, though. That's the truth. But it's a beautiful tool, right? Very, 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 very amazing. Even yourself, you'll be surprised by the way it works. Yeah, by the way it works. So, but till then, yeah. So our next class starts, I will let me say a master class. The main class starts on Friday. So for those who are interested to join, 30,000 naira. For those who have seen our flyer, make a 30,000 naira payment. Join our master class and let's see you class and let's do automation together. Automation is in high demand and you can make a whole lot of money for yourself and cut down costs and cut down customers. If you have a personal brand, you need automation. What you just create here, in fact, you can also include a form to it. And also, for those who have paid already for our master class, for those who have paid already, do you agree with me? When you fill the form, what happened? You got an email, right? Who wants to tell us about that flow? Who wants to tell us about that flow? How did you see it? Somebody saw it and was like, wow. Person was surprised. I don't know. Maybe the student is here. But for those who are paid, they saw what I built and they were like very, very much impressed. Somebody says, and I love the comments. That's automation. I don't need to start manually adding you and come, I add, come. I can track you. In fact, I can track everything. I will track you. I will track you easily. Yes. And that's automation, the beauty. Don't worry. You'll be seeing automation back and forth. And that's why we are learning this together. We want to solve real life problems. And also, I can even customize it. Let's say this an event form. If they will attend, I can say they are going to receive the events, the event venue. If they will not attend, they should not receive any email. I can customize it that way. I can add, we call it switch node, add it to it. So if they say they will attend, automatically to send an email. If they say they will not attend the event, they will not receive an email. We can customize it, we can expand it, right? It's just like scratching. Okay, so for those who are interested, make your payments, join us in class. Let's have 2 months intensive training, AI automation. And the truth is, there's nobody you tell that you're an AI and automation specialist. They get to respect you, they get to honor you, they get to value you anywhere you get to. As I am, if I tell you a lot of recommendation, a lot of job I've gotten from LinkedIn just because I said I'm AI automation specialist, myself, I'm surprised. I've also shared some on the platform for those who are there, right? I'm not applying for any job. I don't want, I'm getting a lot of offers. So I need to tell you that you're in the right place at the right time, the right instructor. That'll be all for now. I would love to take questions, but permit me, I may not take questions, but if you have questions, you can share them. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for attending this wonderful section. So please, we just completed something. Make a screenshot, post it. And for those who will be coming for live class, for the master class, see, we are going to be doing more visibility. We don't just build and just leave it. As I'm wrapping up this class, you see it on LinkedIn. I just completed a training on this and this. Yes, that's how to build, right? Build in public. Build in public. Thank you so much. I want to appreciate everyone who have joined this section. The recording will be made available by tomorrow. See you at the top. For those who are coming for my masterclass, see you in class on Friday. Thank you. Bye.